Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are talking about your first API request. So, it have the task to create the workspace. Are you ready to become a digital librarian using Postman Library API version 2? This reset the REST API allow you to create, read, update, delete. CRUD mean create, read, update, and delete books in the public library database. You will use Postman to interact with the API and manage the books. You will use the Postman to interact with the API and manage books. So remember the following alongs because you must submit your Postman workspace data in this course. So it have the video.
Task: create a workspace. Now
Okay,
let's go
create a
ahead
workspace.
and get started with Postman API Fundamental Student Experts Practical. The very first task
Okay.
is to go ahead and create a workspace. This is where all our work is going to reside. So let's go to Postman and execute this. You can read through the steps here and follow along in the video. So let's go to postman.com. Here in the workspaces, you can see on the top, click on the drop down, click on create workspace.
Create a workspace.
Now you can have an option to select a template or blank. Because we are working from scratch, we'll go ahead and select a blank workspace.
Okay.
Hit next and give it a name. For us, we are going to name it Postman API Fundamentals Student Expert. Remember, the name does not matter. You can keep the name as you like. Now for the visibility, you can select who can view these workspace. Now I highly recommend to make it personal because you are going to do this workshop on your own, so you can make it personal. And then later on, once it is ready, you can share it with others while making the visibility on team. So let's go ahead and hit that create button.
Okay, create
It
the
will take a moment and the
create
workspace
the
is created.
workspace. Yeah, create the
Awesome.
workspace. Okay, so that's the thing. Open the Postman on for the day. So you go on the Postman Academy. Okay, make it the postman.com. Okay, and you go to the sign in. Okay, I'm signing. This is my account. Okay, this is my account. Okay, I'm logging to the workspace. No, log into the Postman. Then what we'll do? To start Postman request, you need to inside the workspace. Okay, you go to the workspace and create the new workspace. Okay, then we can add this workspace name. I copy it. Save the blank spaces. Okay, blank template, blank workspace. Then name put as this Postman API fundamental student expert. Then it is internal. Then create the things. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm create this one workspace. Okay. What is your team name? I Tron. Francis. Okay. Okay. No. Is it correct? Yeah. Workspace is created. Okay, success. Then we can go to this one. Create the collections. Or we can create the collections.
Create a collection.
Yeah.
Now that we have created a workspace, let's go ahead and create a collection. A collection is where all of our request is going to reside. So let's go ahead in Postman and execute this. Open Postman. Here you can see this plus icon from which we can add a new collection. We can also use the new button.
Okay.
Both will work in the same way. So let's click on this plus icon and click on blank
And
collection.
collections.
Here also you can see that they have given you the option of creating from a template, but we are going to create it from scratch. Now here, let's name it Postman Library API v2. And we are going to add all our requests in this collection. Awesome.
Okay. Now we create the collections. Okay. Now you go to this new, then create the collections. Uh, I can rename this one as a Postman Library API version 2. Okay, this is remember. Rename this one. Okay, we're ready to take off. Okay, Postman collection is created. Okay, next one. Get books from the library API. Okay, according to the first thing first, the librarians must know how to view all the books in the library catalog. According to the API document, you can get all the books in the library by making the request. This is a request for request email, no request link to get the request method and request URL. You can cover what means source. Okay, take this one.
Get books from the library.
So I close it. So create a new request by either clicking the new request. Okay, you can go this one and add the request. Yeah, now the request is created. Then get the request is a get book. So we want to get the books. So we have get request. Then added this URL request URL. Okay, we create this request URL. Okay, then send the thing. Okay, okay, I'm created this one. Then we have get this JSON's book data. Okay, it have a JSON's with the array of the book object. Okay, so we know the request method the for request method. When we and the HTTP call a server, we specify the request method that indicate the type of the operations via platforms. Not for these are the also HTTP verbs. So this HTTP verb gets to retrieve the data. Post is send the data. Posting we use to send the data, and put and fetch is used to update data. Then delete is a deleting data. Okay, since we are getting the books are not modifying data, it makes sense that we are making get request, getting the things. Okay, so we previously used this get request. We have 2000 okay is a request is successfully done to the server. Retrieve data response time, this one response sizes. So these response status code have this one. So 200 XX is a code range is a success. 200 okay is okay, then 201 is a created, then 204 is a no content, silent okay, no content, but no content, it has blank but the silent is okay. So it get the code range response have the code range 300, so it have the redirection. So it have the 300 to 1 move the things. This is the thing. So and the fourth 400 mean the client error. It have the client error 400. So it have the bad request. 401 is unauthorized the thing. 403 is not permitted. 404 is not found. 404. 400, 401 is unauthorized, and 403 is not permitted, and the 404 is not found. So we can get then lastly we have if the request is sent and retrieve these thing code range 500, so it have a server error. Okay, yeah, it is possible to the server error. So internal server error is a 500. So 500 to 501, 502 is a bad gateway. Gateway, API gateway is another things. Gateway is a entry point to know all the things. So bad gateway. And 504 is a gateway timeout. It has a gateway timeout is a 404. 504. Okay. It's coming from this one. Okay. So go to the next. Request to response patterns. Now you can understand the request response patterns, which represent the computer communicate with over the network. So, and the API is an interface that let you know what kind of responses is expected when we make a certain call to the server. So you made an HTTP GET request to get this URL and receive the response from the server. So this is a response client request to the server, then API coming through in the responses. Okay, the client is an agent making a request. Okay, and a client could be browsers application you have called. For example, in our case, Postman is a client. Yeah, Postman is a client. Is because of the how we send the request, how we send the request and getting the request. So request is a send over the network to some server. Okay, it is a send over the network to some servers. That's a public API, and the server interpret the request, get booked in the appropriate responses over the network back to the Postman client. So list of the book. Can we get this? Okay. Okay. Start the quizzes. You can given the three blocks of the test. Each block is a part of the request you have. So which is the answer? The choice below. This is a host, no protocol. Then this is a host. Then a path. You are given a table of the response status code. Okay. Only the code range is given. Choose the answer the list of the correct order. So 200 is a success things. 300 is a redirection, yes. And the 400 is a server errors. No, client errors. The other thing is a server errors. Yeah, it is done.